Yes, I think we are in here. Let's get the money going. We are streaming once again today. It is February 18th. Is it 19th? February 19th. It is a Thursday. A lot going on. The NBA starts back tonight, I believe. We are having our time off the All-Star break. We are streaming live. Um, you know what I'm saying? All-Star breaks over. Back. We're finishing the back half of the season. We got a lot going on in the show. We're picking up from yesterday, and Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? He's been under the hot seat. Stephen A. Smith did a interview with Mr. Reddick, the son or the father of the son who was getting, you know what I'm saying, touched on or whatever. Reddick said there was no problem with it. He didn't see any problem with it. He knows Michael Jordan knows his family. And it basically concurs with what I had to say, man. Michael Jordan wasn't on that. Obviously, we saw LaMelo have a car accident in the Hummer, custom Hummer, and that was no good, man. But we have a good show today. A lot going on. Good college basketball as usual. NBA starting tonight. Like I said, college basketball recap. We're going to talk about tanking. What else do we have? We have Kyrie Irving. We're going to break that down. Talk a little bit about Paolo Banchero and the hate that he has been receiving. I don't know if it's that fair, but I understand what it is. As usual, in the beginning stages of the Trenton Gibson show, we are not going to have the most viewers in the current chat, but we do have good viewership on this channel, I would say. People love hoop, and it's good work, man. I'm feeling real comfortable, real calm, enjoying myself in this process. So we're gonna get right into the show, man. Let's get into it. Going with our first topic of the show, the tanking. Okay, I know once again the All-Star conversations, tanking was a big problem in the All-Star conversations. You know, we got guys. We just saw the Kings. I mean, they've been bad all year. I think that's a bad roster. Anyway, you can't really even call that a tank. But they're shutting down Sabonis, shutting down Zach LaVine. You got the Wizards. Another bad program, but they're not trying to win. You know, Trae Young might not play the rest of the season. Anthony Davis might not play the rest of the season. You got the Jazz, who just already had a high top draft pick, but they're shutting down. They already shut down Jaren Jackson. Maybe Larry Markin is not going to play that much. So it has been a problem, okay? And there's been a few, different angles where people are taking this stuff, and I really want to break it down. I like to sit through, really see all the angles, and that's what we do on this show. It's just me. We have time. I'm confident. I'm poised. So we're going to break it down. And the first thing I want to break down and talk about is a former owner, Mark Cuban. Obviously, we know he was with the Mavericks, and he sent out a tweet, I think it was yesterday. And in the tweet, he's talking about how the NBA should embrace tanking. Now, that is a tough stance, but we're going to break it down. We're going to get my opinions. Let's talk about what Mark Cuban is talking about. And he says the NBA has basically been misguided in thinking that their teams want to see competition every night. You know what I'm saying? The NBA is in the business of creating experiences for fans, which I agree. It's all about the experience. They don't really care if they win the game or not. And a lot of us, especially myself, I've only been to 3 NBA games. And one of them was when the Rockets were playing the Pistons. Game 82, I was in Houston, and Corey Joe was the best player out there. Jalen Green didn't play. Kate Cunningham didn't play. A lot of guys didn't play. But I still enjoyed it. It was the closest I've ever been to the game. I got there early, saw the warm-ups. Maybe it's because I'm a real hoop head. But, you know what I'm saying, I understand what he's saying. They can't remember the dunker shots. What they can remember with is who they were with. Family, friends, a date. That's what makes the experience special. Fans on their team can't win every game. They know only one team can win a ring. But with tanking, the one way to get closer to that is the draft. That's how they win championships, is the draft and trades and cap room. And you have a better chance of improving all three when you tank, right? You trade guys away, you get in draft picks, all that stuff. You tank, you get a higher draft pick. They didn't tank very much when he was the president or when he was the owner. The NBA should worry more about the fan experience than tanking. And I agree with that. A lot of people are not a big fan of what he said, but you should only care. You know who cares the least about tanking? A parent who can afford to bring their 3 kids to a game and buy their kids a jersey of their favorite player. Tanking isn't the issue. Affordability and quality of game presentation are. Now, before we get to the other topics, you know what I'm saying, the other viewpoints people are taking on tanking, I want to break this down, man. I really agree with with what Mark Cuban has to say. Obviously, we have to understand that tanking is always going to be a part of the game. The way that the NBA is set up, the way the sports are set up, it's an 82 game league, okay? And yes, you can try to say that the NBA should shorten the season. Media people want to say that, right? And off top, I'm gonna say I'm taking the positive approach to what the NBA has to offer. Yes, it's easy to be negative and say, hey, we need to remove the draft. We need, you know what I'm saying, to take the 82 games away. We need to do all these things, but I'm gonna take the positive approach. And I did cut myself off, but I wanna get into the rest of this stuff before I really break down my opinions, right? So now we got a tweet, and Stan Van Gundy thinks, he says, you know what I'm saying, they should get rid of the draft. No draft. You still have a salary cap. If you want to give Cooper Flag $45 million a year for coming out of college, do it. He's a free agent. Everyone coming out is a free agent with no draft. There's no incentive to lose. There's none at all. Okay, that's fair. And then we got who else we got? We got another tweet talking about angry gambling companies reporting the gambling companies played a part in Adam Silver punishing teams for taking. Over-unders are at stake. You know, player props are at stake. If coaches are willy-nilly not playing guys the entire game, then they are not letting people know in advance that they plan to do that. You're going to have a lot of angry gamblers, okay? And people are upset about Adam Silver not enforcing things. Now, let me break this tanking stuff down, okay? Let me break this taking stuff down. I wanted to create context. Maybe I didn't do the clearest job. I want to break this stuff down and really give you the game, in my opinion, of what's going on. Okay, first off, we want to start off with what the NBA is going on right now. The NBA is in the business of making money. Okay, once we accept that, you will understand that none of this stuff is going to change, right? So all we can do is look at it from the bright side and take what we want and leave the other stuff aside. The NBA is not going to shut down the 82 games, okay? Maybe 70 at the least, but 82 games is going to stay. Why is it going to stay? Because Adam Silver's job is to generate the league the most revenue possible. That is Adam Silver's job. That is why the NBA owners are NBA owners. They are in it. Maybe Steve Ballmer is not in it for the money, but everybody else is in it for the revenue. Okay, so NBA, we have to think of NBA as a business. Businesses want to make money. Okay, so 82 games, not going away. Stan Van Gundy or Steve, whichever one it was, says, let's take away the NBA draft. That's not going away. Let me tell you why that's not going away. Because NBA draft is something that they can sell ESPN. We're in New York. We're in Barclays Center. We have all Media Hub, all NBA Hub is in New York for June. Okay, that is a big calendar event for the NBA. NBA gets a lot of pub, a lot of press. ESPN comes, right? That's all we talk about. Okay, so we have NBA time, whatever, June finals, only one series left. Okay, that's all we can talk about, finals, MVP, all that stuff. And we can talk about the draft. So the NBA, obviously you have to understand these sports leagues plan out their schedule so they can be relevant as long as possible, right? So we got NBA season from October to June. Then we have draft, June. Then we have summer league, July. Then we have August training camp. Then we have September, more training camp. Then we have October games, and it goes on, right? That's how the leagues are planning their relevancy. They want to stay relevant as long as possible, so they put little things in each of these things. So therefore, we can continue to consume. That's number one. So we have to understand nothing is going to change. Another fact about the NBA, there is so many games, and NBA is the only sport where the hooper actually matters. And what I mean by the hooper matters, we care about LeBron. We care about, Kyrie. We care about the big names. In the NFL, it doesn't really mean that much. Dolphins just cut Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? Guys can get cut at any time. Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl. The other Super Bowl quarterback was Drake May, who's probably not even a top 10 quarterback. Neither of those guys, before the season started, was viewed as a top 10 quarterback. And why does that matter? It matters because the NBA's product, and Adam Silver knows this, is a consumption product, right? People want to talk about who's the GOAT, right? Who is going to be the top 10 player? Those are the things that go viral. Who can we get in a trade? Who can we get in free agency, right? Read an article yesterday, broke it down on the stream. They're talking about already the offseason moves that the Lakers are going to make. That's what matters in the NBA. So we have to understand the next thing about this tanking stuff, or the reason why the NBA product is not as good, is because it's not meant to be good. It's meant to be consumed, right? The NBA is in volume, right? They want as many clicks, as many social media posts, all that stuff. That's what the NBA is really looking for. They just want to have volume. So I don't want to say we need to give up on the whole thought of taking away. I don't want to say we need to give up on the premise of things getting better, but it's not going to get any better. Okay? It's not going to get any better. That's the way it's set up. Nothing can change, and that's just the way it is, man. So what can we do as fans of the game? We charge it to the game, okay? Why is everybody tanking? Because college basketball is in a wonderful place right now. That's why everybody's tanking. This college draft class has the potential to be 2003. I might not say 2003 because we have LeBron. We might not have a LeBron in this, but everybody in this draft class, or every guy in the lottery, every team in the lottery can get a guy that can play on that team. Like it's going to be hard to find the bust in this draft, is what I'm trying to say. So many good freshmen. Freshmen are dropping 40-point games left and right. Great hoop is going on. So yes, that's why teams are tanking. Okay? It's never going to change. And we just have to accept that. So once again, as fans, what we can do, we just have to accept it, and we take what we want. Turn on the playoffs. College basketball is great right now. Watch college basketball. Turn that on. March Madness is going to be great. And you know what happens after March Madness? March Madness ends in April. The NBA playoffs is right there. Okay? Don't get me started on NBA playing. That's bogus. We played 82 games, 10 months. But it goes back to my point. The NBA is a money-making machine. Adam Silver, every decision Adam Silver makes, he's trying to get more money out the thing. But let me know what you think in the comments. Am I tripping? Or do you think that, hey, this is what it is. We're going to have to charge it to the game. Let me know what you think in the comments. Can we fix tanking? Give me a solution to fix the tanking. I haven't seen one yet. It's not going to happen. But let me know what you think in the comments, man. Drop me a sub, and I'm going to catch y'all. All right, man. So we're going to move on to the next topic right here, man. There's been a lot of Paolo Banchero hate, okay? And I'm not the biggest fan of it, okay? I don't think Paolo is great. I don't think he is, maybe a top 10 player, but he was just an all-star last year. He's a number one pick. They were just about to build around Paolo Banchero. So let's break this down, man. This video from Andy Hoops has 240,000 views in a week. Let's see what he has to say about Paolo Banchero. Is Paolo really that cheeks, or are people hating, or people tripping, man? Let's break it down.
Banchero, wide open look for two.
This is Paolo.
Let me get these headphones on. Let me make sure this is right, man. All right, here we go.
Paolo Banchero. On February 7th, he shot 6 for 17 from the field against the team with the worst defense in the entire league.
It happens.
For outsiders who don't pay attention to his game, perhaps you'd think this is a rare occurrence, but it's not. For years, the Magic have held this belief that Banchero would be the face of the franchise for years to come, and he himself desires to be the guy his team has always dreamed of. He was destined to lift the Orlando Magic back into the realm of contention, but is he good enough? Can he?
This is rage bait. This is already starting to be rage bait, but let's watch it. It's already starting to be rage bait, but let's watch.
Consistently perform at a level he needs to? As the former #1 pick back in 2022, the perception of Banchero was that he was an underrated yet high-ceiling prospect, a guy with a one-of-a-kind skill set. Being so agile at his size and moving the way he does at 6'10", it's a rare talent that we don't see often. If anything, he barely gets mentioned in mainstream media. However, between the stellar performances and flashy highlights is a man who is not as good as you think he is.
Little different. Here's Banchero making a move, and
When you observe his game in detail, there's way more flaws than you expect. And with the Magic stuck in mediocrity for so many years with Paolo and Franz Wagner as their two main guys.
But that's the first thing. That's their first problem right there. We have Franz and Paolo, who, in my opinion, both these guys are not elite shooters. They essentially play the same position, 3 and 4, right? That doesn't work. It's never worked, right? You got Tatum and Brown, and they okay, conference finals. I respect that. I'm positive on Tatum and Brown, but the narrative through them was it can't work. They repeat themselves. They do the same position, and both those guys can shoot the basketball, right? Both those guys are more perimeter players, and these guys are more drivers, decision makers, playmakers. Well, it's hard to playmake for another playmaker. You understand what I'm saying? So that is a major problem. I've been saying that about Orlando. Now, maybe you get rid of Paolo, maybe you get rid of Franz. I don't know. But they're two guys who are very, in my opinion, redundant. They do the same thing.
The truth slowly revealed itself. Let's take a look at why Orlando's next dynasty will not start with Paolo, but after him.
You got a very bad shot from Paolo. That's not what they were looking for, I'm sure.
Upon his arrival to the league, Banchero joined a team in the early stages of rebuilding. After a disappointing era where they didn't really find the success they yearned for, the franchise was still looking for the guy who can lead this team back into actual contention. Ever since the end of the Dwight Howard saga, they have yet to find that person. But by the end of Banchero's rookie season, they believed that they finally found their guy. Now, the initial projections of how his career would go were very mixed. A scout initially compared him to Julius Randle, in which he explained, quote, "Julius Randle is the comp for me. Great combination of size, dribble game, and passing. A good passer, but very turnover prone, not a rim protector, but may have some potential as a versatile switch defender." This analysis was prior to Banchero
And Paolo's 6'10", he's a 4. 6'10", he's a 4, man.
even getting drafted, but if you saw how successful his rookie year went, you'd think he'd be far better than Julius Randle ever was. However, I thought about this comparison, and there's one thing that makes them more similar than any of these things he mentioned. Their tunnel vision, which leads to sometimes abysmal shot selection. Randle took many, many years to improve on that. And for Banchero, it was obvious from his rookie year there's no shot in the world he's scared of taking. In between the games where he pops off and records 30-point bombs with like 15 rebounds, 7 assists, there are also even more games of him shooting like 6 for 20, 5 for 17, and turning the ball over.
K does it all the time. There's so many. Come on, man. There's so many guys that shoot like this in the league. Now, once again, at the 4-man, maybe you know in his rookie year, he shot 43% from the field. Maybe as a 4-man, 6'10", you want him to get higher on that. But if you're the main ball handler, you're the main shooter on any given night, there's I don't know, there's not that many guys, to be honest. There's not that many guys.
Like crazy.
Doing what he's
It's not
asking.
rare for him to have dreadful shooting nights, but early on, this was a learning process, and eventually his shot selection should get better over time, right? Well, here's the thing that most people don't want to admit. A player's shot selection rarely changes over the course of their career, unless it's, a huge playstyle change, like for example, Brook Lopez going from a post-up center to a three-point sniper. It's very rare for a transformation like this to happen. For Banchero, however, here's a chart of every shot he took in his rookie season, compared to every shot he took in his 4th season. I mean, it's basically the exact same. Banchero has still been brute forcing his playstyle and still hoping the same shots he takes start going in more consistently. The result? Well, for the 4th year in a row, he's still scoring below league average efficiency. And as the NBA trends towards more and more.
But I think you look at this right here. This tells me, I don't know. I'm not an NBA player. I'm not an NBA player. Okay, so I don't know. I ain't been in locker rooms. I'm a professional basketball player. But I'm in Poland right now. But if you ask me right here, let's just look at this right here. Watch this, okay? And if you ask me, I don't I don't want Paulo in isolation with two guys at the elbow. Right? What else is he supposed to do? He's not. I mean, and once again, what else is he supposed to do? Okay, pass, play with somebody. But if you give him the ball up here, you know he wants to isolate. This ain't him.
Banchero has still been brute forcing his playstyle and still
What the hell you want to do? Anybody gonna shoot that shot. That's what's gonna happen.
hoping the same shots he takes start going in more consistently. The result? Well, for the fourth year in a row, he's still scoring below league average efficiency.
And I mean, I know it's a casual take to give it this, but I think you got to bring some kind of what Giannis is on, right? You can't, maybe you don't have, once again, I know Giannis is a different player. Giannis is more physically abusive, all that stuff. I get that. But you got him and Wendell Carter on the court. That's two non-shooters. Right? Once again, you bring Franz out there. That's another non-shooter. A lot of non-shooters on the basketball court when they play together for the Magic. Right? I know they try to fix that with D-Bane, but I don't think Bane himself is. I mean, Bane's nice for sure, but is his gravity that it's not that crazy. So that's just something I see.
And as the NBA trends towards more and more efficient offenses, him and the Orlando Magic look like a relic of the past.
You talking about his true league average. Okay.
Literally, their team looks straight out of the early 2000s. A few years ago, they may have gotten by with just their incredible defense alone, but without consistent offensive production from your star, the hopes of contending during the Banchero era is slowly disappearing. They want him on the ball too much.
Fair.
Ever since Banchero came into the league, the Magic noticed how versatile and talented he was. From his ball handling, his passing, and his scoring, they were fine with him doing everything, just like LeBron's first stint in Cleveland. They saw Banchero as a heliocentric player, whom the entire offense should be built around.
There's 3 or 4 of those guys in the NBA. You could even say Giannis is not a heliocentric basketball player. Yes, he is the main focus of the offense, but you could say he's not. You got Luka, you got Jokic, you got SGA, potentially SGA. But even if you look at the Thunder, those guys move. Like, they're generating offense. Yeah, he gets his isolation bag, but they're still running good offense. And mind you, you look at that construction on the roster outside of Hartenstein, nobody is in there clogging any paint.
There was one problem. He's nothing like a young LeBron. Not even close. Even young LeBron was a better shooter during an era with even worse spacing. And obviously, he's far better at passing, finishing at the rim, defense, and basically everything else. For the fourth year in a row, however, Banchero has been near the top of the league in unassisted field goal attempts. Nearly 60% of his shots are unassisted, meaning he's creating his own shot more often than the vast majority of players, but he shouldn't be. The Magic have not yet come to terms with the fact that Paolo should not be on the ball so often. For example, he only hits 39% of his shots in isolation, only 29% on pull-ups, and the most important stat that everyone overlooks? His touch time numbers. There's a direct correlation between how long he holds the ball and how worse his efficiency is. The longer he holds it, the more likely he'll throw up a brick.
But
the numbers in
that is almost every I mean, not almost every basketball player, but that's obviously if you have the ball less than 2 seconds. If you look at his less than 2 seconds, okay, 60% what he said. That's everybody. Less than 2 seconds is a catch and shoot. Less than 2 seconds is a cut to the layup. You don't get a shot off in 2 seconds unless it's pretty much assisted or wide open. So it's legitimate.
He shoots so well when he holds the ball less, and it means he has the potential to be a very good off-ball player. It's just he doesn't want to be an off-ball player, and the Magic don't want him to be one either. For comparison, these are the touch time stats for Luka Doncic. As you can tell, there's not much difference between how long he holds the ball and his effective field goal percentage. This is an example of a successful heliocentric player. When the offense is built around Luka, him and his team flourishes. For Banchero, not so much. The spacing is worse than you think. Here's a not so fun fact. Paolo Banchero currently shoots 61% within 5 feet of the basket.
Yeah.
That's worse than the average shooting guard.
Oh, sheesh.
Now, this is something you'd expect him to be better at, because, come on, the dude is a solid 6'10", 250, yet he finishes worse at the rim than a 37-year-old Russell Westbrook. How is this even possible? Well, you can boil it down to 2 main reasons. One, the spacing around Banchero is so bad that the lane is congested, and every
And it's been bad since he's got there. It's been bad since he's got there.
shot he takes in the paint is heavily contested. The spacing problem has been an issue for a long time, but even when the Magic got more competent shooters like Desmond Bane, Banchero's efficiency at the rim has barely changed.
Once again, we're not going. I mean, I like that. I like D Bane. I'm from Tennessee, so I rock with the Grizzlies, all that. Well, come on, brother. We're not gonna act like D Bane is like.
And the second reason? Perhaps Banchero is simply not good at finishing through contact. This wasn't exactly a strong point prior to his arrival to the NBA either. Even before, he had the ball handling skills, but a lack of finesse and touch that caused him to struggle to score when he gets close. He may be 6'10", but so many times when he gets to the paint, he forces an awkward shot that he's not good at hitting. Due to the lack of spacing with such few threatening shooters on the Magic, defenses can simply collapse on him to contest his attempt. The spacing issue is a years-long problem the Magic have yet to find a solution for. For the 4th season in a row, the Magic are about to finish in the bottom 6 in three-point percentage. It's not just their lack of three-point threats that hurt their spacing though, but also that Paolo himself does not provide any spacing for his teammates. Dude's three-point shot is completely random year by year. Sometimes it looks like he's improving, but statistically, it hasn't gotten any better since he came into the league. This whole dilemma leads back to his lack of off-ball movement. When he doesn't have the ball, he's usually standing at the three-point line doing nothing, and his defenders obviously don't care if he shoots a three anyway.
Back in the coverage now, Banchero left wide open, Young daring him to shoot. He does.
I took a look at Paolo's tracking dashboard on NBA.com, and apparently he only attempted 19 cuts in his first 40 games of the season. That's less than half a cut per game, yet he scores 68% of the time off a cut, which is very good. If he starts to cut more to
But also, in cutting, you need people to
the basket, that also improves his team spacing because it lures defenders away from the three-point line to give his teammates a clean look. He's a huge threat while cutting to the rim, yet he almost never does it, which is perplexing. I guess it speaks to how poorly the Magic's offensive game plan is.
50 points for Paolo Banchero.
The Magic don't have a true first option. At one point, it seemed like Banchero and Franz Wagner were destined to be the young duo of the future. They're both 6'10", versatile forwards who can do everything, and for a while, the NBA was trending towards positionless basketball. They were the team of the future. Well, on paper, at least. Initially, Banchero and Wagner both seemed like #1 option material, like the 1A and 1B primary scorers for the Magic. But as the years went by, the reality is both of them are actually #2 options,
And that's fact, man. I think that's enough. We get the point of it. Now, like I said, he did a good job. He broke it down, and this is hoop. And a lot of time, like the Paolo hate has been real. There's been a lot of Paolo hate, and as a pro hooper, as myself, like I think a lot of times we can hate on the player, but we gotta really check on the management. Right, we have to really look at management. We really have to look at what they have going on, man. Because, and the reason why I say this, I'm not trying to duck accountability for Paolo, but look at the team they've had the entire time, right? If you're a coach, you damn near got to put it in Paolo's hand. Who else hand you gonna put it in? They had Cole Anthony. Okay, I'm not saying he a scrub, but Cole Anthony, Suggs. Suggs really defensive guard. That's what he was bringing most of the time. You had KCP in there last year. Now you added Bane. You know, what real ball handler had they put him with? Okay, we got Wagner, but we already said that, they pretty much play on top of each other. And I know that the narrative is like the small guard or the point guard is dying out. And in situations it is, but on some teams, you need somebody with Paolo. You need somebody to space the floor. We need a big man to get out of the paint, draw guys out of the paint. And if I'm the GM, or if you're ownership and we're not looking at ownership, if you're ownership, you have to understand that, like, we need to build this team around Paolo. Paolo is the guy to build the team. If you're talking about trading Paolo, he's talking about the dynasty going to start after Paolo. That's rage bait. That's way too much. That's crazy. What you need is you need guys. You need to build a team around them. And they have not built a team around him. They've said, yeah, okay, maybe we built a team to give Paolo the ball, and yeah, that's built around him. Gave it the ball, make it happen. That's not the answer. The answer is build a team to where Paolo is still your best player. You're still maybe most effective player, but you have a lead guard who's really able to handle it and make it happen. I know they got Anthony Black, but is Anthony Black, he's a good defender. He's a great defender. He can score the ball, gets the rim, all that stuff. But is he someone that makes Paolo better is my question. No, he's not. We need people to make Paolo better. I don't think Wendell Carter makes Paolo a better player. And what we should be doing is we have a number one pick right here. We should be figuring out ways to make him better. Okay, yes, he can't isolate as well. But he can finish 1-on-0 in the rim. He can finish 1-on-1 at the rim. All the rim finishes he showed was against help D. So we need to figure out ways, just like Giannis, how we can get him in pick and rolls and slips and movement and getting the ball movement and having a guard that brings gravity so we can hit him in the short roll. Then he's playing advantage basketball. Paolo can pass enough. He sees the game enough. So I just think that's the problem. I don't think Paolo is a 2. I think Paolo can definitely be the number one guy on the team. He is just not the number one ball handler, which is 2 different things, right? You could say KD's a 1 on the team, right? There's a lot of guys who are 1s, you know what I'm saying, the bus driver on the team, but they still need somebody to give them the ball, get them in situations to where they can be effective. Paolo is effective in straight lines. Paolo's effective when he can be solid, right? Where he can use his great strengths, and that's the way. And once again, I'm going to wrap up with basically saying a lot of times ownership, GMs, these guys are the guys that need to be held accountable, right? I know the Paolo hate is easy, but it's ownership, man. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Paolo, you know what I'm saying, Paolo need to get his stuff together, or let me know what you think, man. Is he really a number 1 or is he not? Like I said, I would get rid of Wagner and try to get some guard play in there, try to get a big that stretches the floor. That's what I would try to do. But drop a sub if you have not already. And we're gonna move on, man. We are going to move on to something that should be fun. Who do we have now? Ooh, we got Kyrie. We got Kyrie Irving. Shout out Kyrie, man. News on Kyrie is Kyrie said he is sitting out the rest of the season. Obviously, that's the smart play, right? Kyrie sitting out the rest of the season. I think that is the smart play. Tatum's trying to come back, but Kyrie, the Mavs are already not good. He should sit out, and that's what he is doing. Obviously, he's healthy. We're going to see him work out right here. We're going to see him work out. We're going to evaluate just how good players work out, great players, an all-time great ball handler. And he's in here with Phil Handy. Let's see what we got going on, man. We're going to check Kyrie Irving. Let's see what he has.
Also giving you just a small look at how we work out too. So
just a quick
small one.
Quick
so
dose.
Tween.
So double in between, behind the back. 2. Yep. Boom. And we go pass.
And pass.
Right?
Okay.
And then we'll go tween. Yep.
And this is the first thing I have never seen. I gotta look into this. I've never seen he has a weighted small ball, right? I've seen weighted ball, you got the big, but a weighted small ball, hey, I guess that helps the handle for sure. Let's see.
So
just a quick
small one.
quick
so
dose.
Tween.
So double in between, behind the back. 2. Yep. Boom. And we go pass.
And pass.
Right?
Okay.
And then we'll go tween. Yep. Quick. Yep. Go quick. Yep. Lift.
Okay.
Right.
Lift and shoot.
We're gonna lift and shoot.
All right. So we're gonna do this. Small ball first, little weighted, tween. We're building up our acceleration, also the quickness of our hands, and also just spacing wise. All right. So I'm gonna
chop, quick. Yep. Quick. Yep. Raise up. Good. Yeah. So let's do the same.
If you a hoop man, bro, this stuff made me smile, bro. Like being able to see this is what you love to do.
Right? Do the same thing, tween, attack balance.
Okay. Attack bounce.
Attack balance.
Oh, attack bounce.
Finish on your balance, right? And then we'll come back with the big ball. Tween, attack, boom. Yep. Hezzy, attack. One dribble,
okay.
Right? Finish on balance, and we'll come back to your pull-up.
Okay.
Break down, quick, yep. 1, 2, yep, and go.
Off
We're going right after it, behind the back. One dribble.
With the small ball.
Yep, but you're going to stop.
And the communication that they are able to have, right? And I know not everybody can have a good trainer, right? Obviously, Phil Handy is an NBA trainer, NBA legendary trainer, NBA champion. So it's a whole different ball game. But just to see the communication that they're having.
Right.
That's what's
To
about.
your balance. Okay. Just get balance and stop. Yep. Quick. 1, 2. Yep. Yep. Right there. Good. Balance. Good. Yep. Pull.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yep. Break down. Quick. 1, 2. Yep. Good. Yep. Good. Nice. Good. 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 Perfect.
Green.
Y'all think?
Just go regular.
Yeah. I'll go here. I'll go from
Yep.
free throw
I
line.
got you.
All right.
I just shadow.
Okay. All right. So, how to execute the slow step? All right. The key is, and I'm gonna give you guys. It's not a secret. It's really just about the footwork and also the imagination, and then when you use it and the timing, right? Because it's usually built on momentum. So say Coach Handy is on the side of me, right? In order to sell the slow step, you sometimes want to bring it here, 1, 2, and take this hard step. This hard step identifies that you're going up to the basket. So you want to bring your momentum up like you're about to shoot, and this is how I do it, right? Some people execute it differently. So Coach Handy's on the side of me, I'm going, my last step is right there. It's right there. It's hard.
Kyrie should never. Why he leave Bron, bro? Why he leave Bron?
It's quick. And then also, you saw how I got to the layup, but then the slow step also can go to a Euro slow step. So the goal is to keep your line of body or your body alignment going this way and then sell, boom. Because your slow step could be on your first step or your last step. All right? So let's execute it really quick. I'll show you some different variations, okay? Boom, we going here. So I bring the ball out. I don't know if you guys saw that, just a small detail. I'll show you one more time.
He loves
Coach is
bringing
going
the
by
ball
me. I show it. And shoot it. And the other one is the slow step. First step out is, and then going up. So the other slow step is this one. Right here, I take this slow step. Go there. All right?
So that last one, Kai.
Yep.
Just for you guys, that last one. This is how people draw a lot of fouls, right? Kyrie's got me going way. No, go to your punch.
Oh, punch.
You're low, misdirection.
Yep.
Kyrie's got me going. I'm reaching, right? You see how I'm reaching? My hands are reaching. This is how guys get on the foul. Now do it.
And one thing I want to, you heard what he said. He said, I want you to get to your low punch misdirection or low misdirection punch, right? And that's something that I, even as a professional, I can get better at is there's a language. There is a language that these guys, high-level professionals, high-level basketball players, people who've been in high-level gyms can get, right? You just like doctors, just like whatever, a high level of just communication. I want you to get to your what I want, they got Pinoy step on the screen now. I want you to tween cross, hezzy, lift, sell, which is a hesitation, lift, and then you get downhill, get to a Pinoy step, right? Able to just say that, and that's not, people don't know what that is, right? Regular people don't, high school, what is that, right? But if you're able to speak the language, just if you're breaking down film with your coach and he says, hey, he's driving middle, you need to build a wrap right here. Some people call it wrap, some people call it cover, some people call it lift. But if you can know all these things, cover up behind your, offensive guy, if you can learn these things and be able to speak like that, that's something to when people talk about basketball IQ, that is a proponent of it.
When you go on the dribble, pop, punch, step. As soon as he goes and goes low, this is that misdirection where guys get fouls, they run through you, and they get to the free throw line. Just go one time.
Okay.
Ready? Yep.
Also dribble?
Yep. Just dribble. All right, you see how I'm reaching? He's able to, again, get through the defender.
They probably want the
Double behind?
Oh, they want that transition.
I mean, that's one of the toughest moves because if you do it in the game and you don't execute the right way, coach will take you out.
We're going the other way.
Facts.
Coach will take your ass out. All right. I wish Jay Crawford was here to show it too. He should do a breakdown on All-Star Sunday on this. All right. So the double behind the back, right? It can happen off a screen. So I'm coming up to misdirect. The screen is over here, and I know I want to go this way. The setup could be 1, 2, come off the screen, or it could be I'm coming directly at Coach Handy as as an offensive player, and I know he's in sand, so boom, boom, and then I'm going again.
In sand, so standing still, right? He is waiting on what you have to do. So he's in a reactionary phase.
All right, so we're gonna demonstrate different variations of it. All right, so if I'm coming off the screen, sometimes you want to set it up like jab.
Kyrie, bro. Kyrie. We not doing, most people ain't doing all that, bro.
Straight,
Look at this.
different variations of it.
Funny, bro.
Right, so if I'm coming off the screen, sometimes you want to set it up like jab, and then go the opposite way. All right, so it's so many different combinations you can have to set it up. It just depends on which way you're going with it. So for me, if I knew the screen is right here, I'm backing you down, double behind, boom, boom, and I'm coming back and I'm throwing it and I'm chasing it, and then I'm making a move. All right, but the Jay Crawford, which that was crazy right here. It was Kirk Heinrich in transition.
Justin.
He ain't even double behind. What was double behind? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Did he go over top?
No, he went over. Well,
Once again, if you see that, right, you see the mind of high-level basketball players. And high-level basketball players are people who love the game of basketball. And what I mean by this, Kyrie just said he's thinking about Jamal Crawford's move, right? His go-to move, double behind the back. And he pulls up a thought, a memory of Jamal Crawford doing it double behind the back against Kirk Heinrich, right? That's probably what, 2010, 2008, 2012. And if you really love the game and you really grow up watching the game, and really, it's probably what's missing right now in a lot of young players. But if you really love the game, you can bring back, oh, you remember when he did that against this? You remember when he did this against that? You understand what I'm saying? And you really, once again, have that mental IQ, that mental love for the game, where you can say, you can just pull things up because basketball is you. It's not, basketball is you, if that makes sense.
I think that one he went over top.
He did a
Against
couple
Chicago,
ways.
he was. That was crazy.
But hold on. He do that at full speed.
Yes.
You got to try that with a little bit of pace.
So, coming off, boom. That shit crazy.
That is super
Yeah.
nasty, bro.
So the combinations that come out of this are just so amazing. That's what makes basketball so beautiful, right? Is you come with pace, boom, so boom. Dang. Okay. You got to execute this perfectly.
What else you got in there, bro?
We still want to see that jab cross.
Good.
You want to see the jab cross? We got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jab cross is
And let me show you the K. Irving, J. Croft mix. You ready? This is 2026 now.
Jeez.
It's 2026 now. Someone call it travel. Somebody's gonna clip it up and be like, oh, did Kyrie travel? Well, break down the film, right? Boom, boom. Is that a travel? The combinations are endless.
So I got one for you.
What's up?
Remember we did the breakdown last year? Anthony
Which one?
Edwards.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So hold on. Thank you. So can we please break that down for the chat? Because
Yeah.
everybody was going crazy online. It's not a travel, right? Pump fake, step through, you're allowed.
And it's crazy because it used to be the travel. Like that used to be a travel. Or it used to be kind of frowned upon in the basketball world, right? We weren't really respecting that. We were saying that was a travel. But yeah, it's in now.
Step through and shot. Anthony Edwards. That was nasty right there, bro. Bucket. Sky, they wanted jab cross.
Which one? And Edwards?
Anthony Edwards. That everybody was screaming that he traveled on the internet. Step two. One, bucket. Clean. So jab cross.
Jab cross?
Chad,
All right.
Chad wants to see jab cross.
Which one?
Right, so Guy we'll show him on 3 levels.
Okay.
Right, so we'll show him just off the regular ISO.
Okay.
Right, so we'll step down. So we talk about just
3 levels, right? I know I keep echoing the same thing, but 3 levels. Okay, so there's a move, jab cross. There's levels to it. There's levels to it. Okay, we can do it off the triple threat. We can do it coming downhill. Some people call it a bulldog, but we can do it in transition, right? Different ways that we can do it. They're going to break it down. But once again, so you already have the terminology. You got terminology. All right, jab cross. Now, which jab cross you mean? They're going to show you.
Footwork stuff. We do a lot of footwork with Kai, right?
Damn.
Stepping down.
It's shining, ain't that?
Nice, bro. You see that sunlight come through?
Yeah. It's shining, ain't too
Hey,
bad.
so step down. So we call it step down, right? Why does Kyrie step down? If I'm trying to crowd him, right, he's stepping down to create separation. See how I have to back up? So now, as he opens up, we'll build this up. So get to a jab cross. It's 3 levels. Your jab, step to your cross. So Kai, let's just be deceptive. So let's go. Step down, jab, shot. Step down, jab. We'll go to your jab first, right? When you come out of your step down, give me a hard jab.
Okay.
Yep.
I got you.
Step down, give me a hard jab. Step down, yep, hard jab. Quick, boom, shot. Right? So again, just kind of building up that foundation. Now, step down, jab, cross. So when you step down, Kai, open up. Nope, we're gonna jab to your crossover.
Okay, cross.
Yeah, so remember, we open up, right? Yep, get your cross and we'll go separation. Right, so
and make sure they're not trying to see that bulldog move on the cross jab.
on the attack, they want the bulldog.
See, that's what I'm saying. Look. I said
But they want off the jab. They want it off the jab. So we can show you both, right? I like that, Irv. We can show you both. So we built it up, right?
Yeah.
Jab, cross, get to your 3. Step down, open up. Again, you see how he uses his jab to also sell the crossover. You got it?
Yeah.
Let's just go one in real time. Yep. Step down. Yep. Good.
You gotta get the fuck away.
So
Jab,
remember,
cross.
right? Keep your base wide on what? When you open up on your jab. Yep. Again, so you can use your jab to be deceptive with your crossover, right? So mid-level. Kyrie plays at the high post a lot. Right, can you pass one? Pass one. So right away, Kai, let's go reverse pivot.
Yep.
Right? Reverse pivot and go right to your jab
Off the
cross.
left?
Yeah, so boom, open up, reverse, right to it. Jab to your cross.
Okay.
Right? Again, playing at the elbow, he gets a little separate, open, quick, good. Yep. Nice. Same thing on the post. We can use the same thing on the post. All right? Deep post up, same thing. Open up, boom, jab cross. Yep. Good. All right, so the last one for Kai.
Yeah.
This is where he just mixes up his footwork. So Kai, open up.
Yep.
Yep. Open up. Yep. Step through. Jab cross. That's it. Good. Again, right?
And that's the goods, right? That's the goods right there. You can just see how they're changing up, right? You can do the same move at different locations. You can do the same move with a different opening, right? So instead of just getting to the jab cross, okay, now he gets it, does a spin, as in full round pivot, and then gets to his jab cross, and then he finishes it with the spin, right? Now, if you want to work on your game and you really want to like build a healthy habit, if you want to build a real habit, okay, then we want to stick with the consistency. But something like Kyrie Irving, we want to be able to play with this. We want to continue to keep his imagination going, which obviously
You can get as creative as you want as long as you just set your foundation. Still working,
Appreciate it. Thanks, OG.
Yes, sir. Love.
All right, I can't lie. I was hoping to see that bulldog. It's the first time I've broke it down. But yeah, man, I mean, this stuff right here is the most exciting stuff in the game for me. This is the stuff that, in my opinion, you should love if you are a lover of basketball, right? This is good stuff. Like, this is it. This is what you should be watching if you want to get better. This is stuff you should be watching if you love basketball. Obviously, the news and the trades and all the gossip and all that stuff is cool. But if you're a real hoop head, this is the stuff you're watching, and you can pick up on more things than just the moves, right? It's not about strictly the moves. If you can understand and kind of soak in osmosis to how they behave, right? Obviously be yourself, but how they behave, how professional basketball players behave, that is something they're able to talk in certain languages. The way they move, the way they interact with each other, player, trainer, the way they're able to bounce off each other and bounce ideas and how they feel about things. And, oh, look at this. And then, okay, no, we'll do it this way. You understand what I'm saying? That's the stuff that really makes basketball beautiful, man. That's why a lot of us got into it, man. But let me know what you think in the comments, how you feel about Kyrie, man. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you to drop the sub too, man. drop the sub. Gonna move on to the next section. But man, that was good work from Kyrie in game. All right. Moving on to the next topic. We have my guy, Darius Acuff. I was a Kingston Flemings guy, and I still am. I think Kingston Flemings is a great basketball player. I think he potentially translates to more basketball teams than Acuff does, but golly, man, Acuff, 49 points. They did lose in double overtime. He played 50 minutes, right? Supposedly came out of a walking boot 2 days ago, just put up 49 points on 50 minutes, lost to Alabama. Obviously, Phylon did his thing, 35 points as well. But man, good hoop. And this is I spoke on it earlier in the show, man. But people say NBA regular season sucks, all that stuff. That's fine. We have great college basketball on a nightly basis. Teams are getting upset. We'll go over that later in the show. But great college hoop every single night. Nobody is completely dominant. There's no, head and shoulders team. So, man, we need to tap into this. We're going to watch the end of the second half. This whole thing was 9 minutes, so we're not going to sit through the whole thing. But few minutes here and just watch these guys bump. I will try to break it down and really just show, what is going on. So here we go.
Scored 25 against Auburn in 37 minutes of action.
Corner. And these guys are making
tonight. There's a three for
shots.
An Alabama lead. Sitting on 29 points. How can they get him going again?
He normally doesn't need a ball screen to get to the paint.
The pull-up, and he needed it. Alabama is on fire this second half. 13 of 16 from the floor. Acuff foul.
Count it.
And
these guys are so special,
and
man.
Oates is livid.
These guys are so special. This is kind of
gather the ball. He's going to get one more step, 1-2, and we've been told that if it's close, give the benefit.
Let's keep going. Isolation work. I mean, these guys are. I was doing my breakdowns earlier in the channel, and I'm gonna get back to the breakdowns. I really want to break down Acuff. I just got to get the time to do it. But man, these guys are elite basketball players, man, and this is what college basketball is about. Double overtime game, SEC. I still hold the hope that the SEC. I'm an SEC homer. The SEC is the best, form of basketball there is. But
first shot doesn't go.
Phylon Wagner. Good defense. Phylon keeps it up and in. He's got 30.
There's too much time left to foul immediately right now. And they're saying the same thing.
Late clock.
Acuff rises. Ties the game.
This year, he comes down, gets a high ball screen by Trevin Brazil. And Jemison makes a defensive mistake for Alabama. He's actually inside that three-point line. Look at Jemison. He gets inside the three. Man, that is a mistake. Even standing on it. You've got to be up high. A big-time pro in a college game.
Yeah. Wagner again.
Yeah, finally. He did the opening minute.
Yeah, they're going to leave Richmond open.
On dimes.
Plenty of time in overtime. 2:30 to go. Millette. Where have you been? Houston Millette.
Or get back right
Double
there.
OT.
Down low, Richmond. Pretty pass from Acuff. War of attrition being played by Arkansas right now as Phylon finds Millette. Dagger free in the corner. Two players who just don't play. Phylon all the way to the basket. Denied temporarily. They have 5 on the shot clock.
Boy, don't foul.
Allen throws it up. No good. Brazil has it. They got 7 seconds. Down by 2. Acuff again. Too strong. Ewan had it to tie, and there's no whistle.
Man, that's a bad way to go, man. But, I mean, we could just see the level of college basketball there is. Phylon is great. Acuff is great. And we have to understand, we have to appreciate that this level of hoop, right? I know there's so much hate going on in the basketball world. I feel like there's so much hate, right? Negativity. But, man, this is like the prime time of sports, of basketball. And we need to appreciate it, man. Like I said, Phylon, we got Acuff. And I just wanted to highlight these two guys, man, because they are doing their thing. This is the hoop And, it's just a quick pit stop right there. We are going to move on to one of our last topics of the show. We have Rich Paul saying Anthony Edwards is the best player in the NBA, and we're going to talk about it.
Could include being the best player in the league.
I still think it's a community, but I think that community is led by Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards is the best player in our league today.
Did you just say Anthony Edwards is the best player in the NBA?
He's the best player in the NBA. Yes, he is.
Okay.
Who do you say is the best player in the NBA?
Jokic. But
and I say Anthony Edwards.
But I can say, I wish it is like I want to be convinced that it's Ant Edwards because when the best player in the league is a high-flying American player. By the way, this is not xenophobia.
And that's facts. That is facts.
I'm talking about this is where we live, and this is what gets people excited usually. A name that is easy to pronounce, a guy who jumps out the gym. Of course, you need to win championships also in order to be that guy.
Yeah.
Why? It convinced me it's Ant Edwards.
As far as the face of the league versus best player.
Let's start with the best player.
The face of the league, that you have to grow into that. That's something different. But best player, yes, he is the best player.
Why? Tell me. Convince me.
Because you can't watch a game on any given night against anybody and look at that game and say, oh, that person is better than Anthony Edwards.
Even Jokic?
No.
Jokic is offensively.
No. I love Jokic. No question about it. But no. If you say I'm taking Jokic, I'd say, okay, give me Anthony Edwards.
Oh,
I think that's okay. I'm not going to say that's necessarily fair. But I do see his point. Now, people do say it is crazy that Rich Paul has a podcast. And you know what I'm saying, that why does he have a podcast? Why does him and Max Kellerman have a podcast? But as you can see on this show, everybody has a podcast. Everybody has a show going on. So how about that? But anyway, I do agree that Anthony Edwards, I would actually slot him more instead of best player in the league. I would actually, Rich Paul said, face of the league is different. I would say he's more face of the league, to be honest. Our hope is for him to be the face of the league. Now we have SGA, we have Jokic, you know what I'm saying, who should and are competing for the best player in the world. Luka's up there too, obviously. Made a finals, was it 2 years ago? So yes, great basketball players, right? And these guys are the best players in the league. We cannot debate that. I wish they weren't, but they are the best players in the league. Now, when we go to face of the league, I think the face of the league is still up for grabs. Obviously, we still have LeBron. LeBron has not retired yet. When he does retire, we need somebody. And if it was anybody else, if it was going to be Ja, it would already have been Ja, right? I think he kind of fumbled his bag. Now he's really working on kind of getting that back up. You know what I'm saying? If Jokic don't even want to be the face of the league, Luka doesn't really want to be the face of the league. We could say he's not trying to go that long. SGA, I mean, people loved him already. He would be the face of the league. He has the opportunity. He's basically American, right? I mean, an hour away from America, right? So he's not that far away. So it should be one of those guys, but it's not, right? And we have Anthony Edwards, who, yes, I wish he didn't have the amount of struggles he does off the court, as in controversy, but he does. But he could be the face of the league. I think LaMelo is somebody else who could, if he would get it together a little bit and get it on a winning team, LaMelo could be the face of the league. But we need one of these guys to step up and be the face of the league. Now, to his point of, any given night, Anthony Edwards can be the best player on the court, and it's hard to find somebody else differently. I agree with that, right? Yes, Jokic can be good. I think the triple-double, maybe because of Jokic, maybe because of Russ, is kind of watered down a little bit. But yeah, I think Anthony Edwards has taken Jokic out the playoffs before. He's taken down all the GOATs out the playoffs, KD, Bron. He has everything it takes to be, one of the best players in the league. And it's really up to him if he can be, if he does that, right? So let me know what you think in the comments, man. Do you think I'm cap? You think I'm real talk? But that's all I really got to say on that one, man. Could potentially be kind of a wild take, but it is what it is. All right, man, we are going to wrap up the show. We have the last section of the show. We have our college basketball wrap up. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big college basketball fan. That's what we have. As basketball fans, we have college basketball, and that is what we can have. And we're going to have a good segment right here. So, starting off, obviously, Kansas doing thing. Once again, number 8 Kansas defeats Oklahoma State. They won by 12. Obviously, Darren Peterson is the main event. He's the main talking point in these games. And he had 23 points in 18 minutes. Now, if you take that from the top, that's killer, right? 23 points, 18 minutes. If you can outscore your minutes, it's a great performance. It's an efficient performance. And yes, but the problem is he had 20 in the first half, played 2 minutes in the second half, hit a 3. Right after he hit the 3, turned to self and said, hey, you got to get me out of the game. And of course, that causes a bunch of backlash. Now, we talk about Darren Peterson, and there is a lot of criticism. I am a Darren Peterson criticizer. But Darren Peterson and Kansas have a big chance coming up in March to win a national championship. Now, once again, like I said, there's a lot of Darren Peterson haters. There's a lot of guys that say, I would not take him as the number 1 pick. Jeff Teague said, hey, we can't have that. I can't trust that, right? And that is the right sentiment. That is the carrying sentiment. But we're going to have that conversation. Kansas has, I think they're 10-2 in the Big 12. They've knocked off some of the top teams. And we're really going to have to take a seat back and look. If Kansas can go on a run, have a great NCAA tournament, make the Final Four, make the national championship, and Darren Peterson plays all those games and he's killing, it's going to be making a lot of people look a little silly, right? We're going to have to sit back and say, because when he does play, he kills. So if he's going to kill an NCAA tournament, it's going to be rough for the naysayers. And I think, to be honest, hamstring or not, cramps or not, reliability or not, if he does his thing in the NCAA tournament, he's going to have to be number 1, de facto number 1 pick, man. That just is what it is, man. I mean, I can't lie. But we're going to move on to the next one. We have UConn taking belt. Okay, UConn got defeated by Creighton. Number 5 UConn, man. UConn is not as good as they were a few years back. Still a potential contender, but they lost by 7. Braylon Mullins had 25 points. I think he was 9 for 22 from the field. He's a freshman. And then we got Josh Dix, 21 points, 8 rebounds. I don't really have too much to say about UConn. I don't know that much about UConn. I haven't watched too much UConn basketball. But I know that roster that they used to have was crazy, was insane. So it's hard to hold them to that same standard, man. So we're going to see. We're going to see what UConn's talking about. Now, moving on to Texas Tech. Texas Tech might have had the worst night in college basketball. There was a lot of upsets the last 2 days. Obviously, my guys over at St. Louis, they got upset by Rhode Island. There's a few more upsets. Ohio State beat the brakes off Wisconsin, but Wisconsin was ranked 24th. We already broke down Arkansas and Alabama, 25-20 upsets, not that high, but a mediocre Arizona State team beats Texas Tech. But that is not the problem, okay? Maurice Odom, 23 points, 3 assists, but our guy JT Toppin, Big 12 Player of the Year last year. Texas Tech, Grant McCasland, good coach, got a lot of things going for him, could be a contender in the Big 12 tournament, could be a contender in the NCAA tournament. JT Toppin tore his ACL, man, right? Tore his ACL. We hate to see that, especially this late in the season, because that's going to impact your next season. And yeah, man, JT Toppin tore his ACL. That is horrendous news. Tore it late game, late in the second half. He was having an okay game. But yeah, man, bad to see it. Obviously, prayers up for JT Toppin. But man, that is very impactful. Obviously, I don't think Texas Tech was going to win the Big 12, so it's not that big on, implications for someone like Kansas or Houston. But at the same time, man, you never want to see that stuff. And in my opinion, it pretty much shuts down Texas Tech's season. And moving on to our last game, our last coverage is this Purdue team, number 7 in the country, falls to Michigan, 91-80. That's not a surprise. Michigan is probably the front runner, the leader of the pack if you had to, you know what I'm saying, put your money on a team, if you will. But Elliot Cadeau has had a resurgence over here at Michigan, looking real comfortable. I broke him down earlier in the season, 17 points, 7 assists. Obviously, we have Braden Smith, 20 points, 6 assists. The problem is, you know what I'm saying, with this Purdue team, Purdue's good. Someone on TikTok or Twitter or something said they look like a suburban AAU team that can beat the suburban teams, but can't, you know what I'm saying, make it happen against the top teams. I think the biggest thing, my biggest problem with today's basketball, I just think your point guard can't be your biggest player, your best player. You know, point guards, the guards get a lot of love, but I think you need great support from the wings. You need dynamic wings, and I don't think Purdue has that. Now, they had a guy have 23 points, but I just think you need good wings, right? And Michigan has that with Yaxel at the 4. They got the big 5s, and then we got, you know what I'm saying, Cadeau at the 1. Obviously, college basketball is a little different than professional basketball. But yeah, man, I just think Purdue is capped, which is okay. They can have a good season, but I think they are capped, and that is that. Obviously, Michigan is doing their thing. Number 1, they're probably going to win the Big Ten. I think they only have 1 loss in the Big Ten. So yeah, man, I mean, USC got blasted last night. Elijah Arenas only played 18 minutes. I didn't look too far into that, but I wonder why that is. But yeah, man, let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think about this Darren Peterson thing? I know that's the headline. And like I said, they have a real potential to make it happen in this tournament. And that's going to turn a lot of heads, man. That's really going to have to, it's going to leave a lot of people questioning. Obviously, we got the Bansa, and I think he's a safe number 1 pick. But yeah, man, let me know what you think in the comments. Stream is done. This is our 3rd stream, man. I'm starting to really, I enjoyed it from the jump, but I am starting to enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. We had great breakdowns. You know what I'm saying? Talked to Paolo. I feel like you could get a lot out of that. We talked to Kyrie. You can get that whole stream. Probably has a lot of gold mine, a lot of nuggets in it. So good stream today. I appreciate you for tapping in. I appreciate you for rocking with me. I appreciate you for subscribing to the channel. Always going to look and strive to continue to be better. And yeah, man, I'm going to continue my breakdowns. I know a lot of people saying, make sure we keep the breakdowns going of our players. Got 400 subscribers doing that, just that. So we're going to keep that up. But let me know, you know what I'm saying, what I need to do more. Talk to me, man. Enjoy talking to the people, man. I'm going to catch y'all.